Can you give me the thumbs up?
Yeah, we're about good.
Probably not. Okay. Oh, thank you. Very flattering. All right, so we're good to go?
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I know this is a hectic time for everyone in their schedule, final exams, and for those of you who made a special trip here, we really appreciate that. So my name is Brady DeSanti. I'm the director of UNO's Native American Studies program. I'm also an enrolled citizen of the Quarter Ojibwe tribe of Haywood, Wisconsin. So I've been with UNO, it's kind of, I had a colleague the other day sort of say, man, you should be embarrassed to say how long you've been part of UNO. I was an undergrad here from 1997 to 2002. Took some time off, worked at the railroad, and then I earned my master's and PhD at the University of Kansas, and was fortunate to come back here in the fall of 2007 on a special faculty development program, and the rest is history along the way. So I really appreciate, as an undergrad, I was a Native American Studies minor as well, and the program really, kind of changed my career trajectory. And to come back and to be the director of this program means a lot. It's still surreal. I've been the director of this program since August 19th of 2019. And my good friend and office associate, Gary Saul, and I, we kind of joke around, but it's still pretty serious, that we used to have a lot more funding and so forth. And in fact, at the beginning of March of 2020, it was like, man, what are we going to do with all this? Well, the pandemic came, and that took care of a lot of things. But it's been a real honor to serve in this capacity, and all the struggles and the triumphs and so forth that we as a program have endured, our students have also done that. And so what this honoring ceremony is to recognize the students, their accomplishments, and to also honor their families as well. Because, as a student, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am today if I didn't have support and a family and people looking out for me. So with that, I also wanted to say a few words because I can't be here tonight, is my mentor. She means everything to me. Carolyn Fiscus, we call her Big Mama. That's her own sort of self-designated name, and so it's appropriate to call her that. She's a member of the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska. And she, back in October, I was grading some papers, and I got a call from Dr. Lynn Holly. And, she told me that Big Mama had been airlifted to Bergen Mercy, and that there was a tennis ball-sized brain tumor that they were going to have to remove. And that just was really shocking. And we prayed hard. It was very, very scary. It was a 13-hour procedure. Thankfully, it was non-malignant. She's in recovery right now. So she couldn't join us, but her partner, Carol, that we have with Brian, we're going to honor her tonight too for her accomplishments with the National Park Service. She just recently retired after 30-some years of distinguished service. where she did an awful lot to help Indigenous people. And unfortunately, she had, at the hotel today in the parking lot, fell down and hurt her knee very badly. I'd like to thank Larry for taking care of them. And so they won't be here tonight, but I just want to say that, we'll recognize them and honor them the way we should in May. But right now, their health is obviously a priority. But when you look at this honoring ceremony, whether they're really big or small and so forth, this is really Big Mama's legacy that she's left us with. I think back in the day when I was an undergrad, we used to do pretty small ones. And when she came, I met her in 1999, and she said, you guys are doing it too small. You need to honor the students more significantly. And so we have a very long-standing, positive, great relationship with Rebecca's Indian Trading Post in Bellevue, Nebraska, where we get our blankets, Chieftain blankets, Pendleton blankets. I'd like to thank Teresa Foley, who's Ponca and Otoe, Missouri, for making the drops, that the students can wear at graduation tomorrow. And then the certificates that you get, and so forth. And then, Larry, thank you so much for the ceremonial objects, the feathers, and so forth, the necklaces. I know that you sacrificed a great deal for that, so thank you very much. So we're going to open with, as we always do, with my good friend, Professor Emeritus, Dr. Denny Smith, who was a Assiniboine, Fort Peck in Montana.
Denny Smith, Emagia, Lakona Inkna, Udeshabi, Jemacha. My name is Denny Smith. Good evening. Good to see you. My Assiniboine mentor, medicine man, used to always say, I shake each and every one of your hands. So I said that in broken Assiniboine. So I also introduced myself. My Indian name is Washte, and it's Kuriko. And it's a great honor to be asked to do a prayer. Normally we want our elders to do that. My driver's license says I'm an elder, but I don't feel like an elder. When I think of elders, I think of really, really, really old people, like Larry Mason, or others. But in my mind's eye, elders are these old people that I listened to all my life, these really, really old people. And in the traditions, in the cultural world, one of the beautiful things about Native people is to always believe that you learn something over time. You get old, or you gain wisdom over time. And that's why they respect elders. And so I like that, because you don't have to be the brightest guy in class. You don't have to be that smart. You're an elder. I always love them. And my cultural mentor, who changed my life back in the early 90s when I was at Morningside College in Sioux City, he's a brilliant cultural man. He used to always talk about Onshpe. And it's an old, ancient Lakota teaching. And it's about this mysterious knowledge you have when you just learn things through life. And that's what it is, why we like our elders. It's a beautiful concept. So I apologize to all of you, because I'm not that old. I apologize to all those who are older than me. Out of that beautiful concept, beautiful cultural concept. I'm a enrolled member of the Assiniboine tribe in Montana, the Fort Peck Reservation. I'm a member of the Haudenosaunee. I introduced myself as my band, the Red Bottom Band. My great-grandfather was the chief of my band. His name was Red Dog. So I come from a family that's has a regard back home. As little as I know, I get to brag about these relatives of mine and their people. So I'm honored to do this for you. I have lots of education. I follow the ways of my people back home in our Sundance Wheels or Medicine Lodge. I danced in our lodge, but I still don't know anything. And so I apologize that when I talk here, it's just with what I know, which is pretty limited to my teachers, my mentors are my spiritual people back home who I revere and worship, but I'm not there with them. So, if you'd be so kind, I'm going to just offer a few words and go into ceremony. Oshitagapa, Monivasteva, Oshik. Wayama Winchashtab, Ungitawa, Achekia. Winchashtab, Iyuhana, Pinamaya, Achekia. Dogiso, Onawa, Nitawa, Pinamaya, Achekia. Ongi takonaku, Iyuhana, Uzbekiyabe. Dr. DeSanti, Carolyn Fiskus Bugmama, Carol McBrien, Gary Saul, Larry Mason, Pat Osborne, Quentin Hinman, Pinamaya, Achekia. Agichida, Iyuhana, Nechi Inkna, Gaki, Pinamaya, Achekia, Inkna, Dagu Ungichia, Iyuhana, Pinamaya, Achekia, Aho, Pinamaya. So we're broken to center one in kind of order here. We welcome all our students. And second, we welcome everybody here. My center one isn't good enough to say we have families and all those things, so it was close enough. The second part of that was to thank everybody to really meet your families that are here supporting you. Third is to thank our singer bringing songs and honoring us with those that we saw. Fourth is to thank all of our friends. And my language is good enough. I just said our faculty, our Native Studies faculty, and Dr. DeSanti and all of those who've been part of our program. Fifth is to thank our soldiers, our warriors, and thinking of them here, those who serve now, especially those who are overseas right now whose lives are in danger. We think of them. Last, I've always been taught how we kind of think of all of our relatives, and for all of you, a blessing for you and all of your family. And of course, in a broader way, all of those in the natural world that are relatives, the way we kind of see things. And so, just a short talk about blessing and thanks for all that. You know,
now I'd like to invite Douglas Esau for a welcoming song. I appreciate it.
Yo,
So we can proceed now with the program, and how this will go is that we'll call the student up, and we will adorn them with a ceremonial blanket, drops for graduation, a necklace, and a feather, and then I'll say a few words. The student is invited to say a few words. You don't have to, but I really do like the students to talk, and then their friends and relatives are invited to say a few words in their honor as well. And so our first student is Caitlin Young.
Thank you very much.
So I have had the honor, and Caitlin, you can stand beside. So Caitlin has accomplished a great deal. She was a major in English with minors in medical humanities and Native American studies. So I had the honor of having Caitlin in my Native American religions class and shamanism. And I've had many great students throughout the years. I've been very fortunate. I always joke with my upper level classes. I said, you guys are so polite and kind, because I was a teaching assistant down at KU. That was kind of tough sometimes, But Caitlin is one of the best students that I've ever had. And I can say that in all honesty. She's not only just very polite and kind and considerate of others, but she always really went above and beyond assignments. I would go back and forth between either grading her papers first because I wanted to start off in a good way, or save it for last. Because it was like after some bad papers, you want to a good note. Caitlin always wrote several pages longer than she needed to, and showed a familiarity and engagement with the material that was staggering. And I think, too, a lot of the classes that we teach, you really need to have a sensitivity to different cultures and beliefs and practices outside your own, perhaps. And she did a great job on that. So, I couldn't be more proud of Caitlin. I kind of hate to see you go for selfish reasons, because you can't take. I think the only class of mine you didn't take was like maybe Intro to Native Studies and Religion and War. But you're too nice of a person to take a class like that, the scary movies and so forth. So Caitlin, I'm very proud of you and your accomplishments, and it was very nice to meet your family tonight. Thank you for joining us. And so congratulations. Say a few words, and then so is your family or anybody else.
So I was, thank you for the kind words said about me today. I guess it's like a very brief note. I was very lucky to have Dr. DeSanti as my professor for the past this year, actually. And it's a shame that I didn't get to take more of his classes, because I do enjoy horror movies, and I would have really enjoyed taking that class under you. But yeah, it's been a very enlightening and very interesting experience taking these courses at this minor, and I really do prize the chances I've had to learn about different cultures as well. And it's thanks to you that I was able to take this minor in the first place. So I thank you very much.
Mom, Dad, you're welcome. Okay. There's only one sitting there. Okay. Thank you, Caitlin. Okay. Our next student, Austin Kurzman. I don't believe Austin could make it tonight. Madeline Strong couldn't make it tonight for a very understandable reason. She is about to give birth. So congratulations to her in South Dakota. And we are going to mail her blanket and certificate and so forth. But Madeline was a major in criminology and criminal justice with a minor in Native Studies. And I never had Madeline in one of my classes, but she did take an online class where I got to jump on a Zoom, and she was, very engaged with the material, very sympathetic. She was as a non-native person, those sorts of classes do really require maturity and empathy and so forth. And so, even though Madeline can't be with us tonight, I just wanted to kind of give her a shout out, and that hopefully she's watching on the live stream. But we'll certainly take care of her there as well. Our next student is Tyra Hannah Mitchell. And Hannah Michael? Oh, Hannah Michael, sorry. So Tyra, if you could. So Tyra is Yankton, Dakota. She earned a bachelor's in French and Spanish. And so through sort of mix-up this past May, we honored Tyra in the Native Studies office. And Gary and I, my office associate, we felt awful about it. And so we invited Tyra and her family to please join us here in December. And so we're very glad that you could join us and so forth. And very proud. And what kind of I've gotten to know just by talking to you and so forth, it would have been great to have you as a student and so forth. And I hear nothing but good things about you from a lot of the former students, with Jordan Matula and so forth. And so thank you so much to your family as well for joining us and so forth. And so please say a few words.
So when I first came to UNO, I'm originally from Wagner, South Dakota, and I just kind of hopped along and found Nebraska, Omaha, and I'm really glad that I chose this school. When I first came here, I was like kind of lost, and I'm so glad I found Native American Studies. I found lifelong friends, and they've been very welcoming. And the teachers are great, the program is great, and I'm just really happy that I came here to UNO. And also thank you for the feather, the necklace, and just all the time that you guys did for me and the blanket and everything. So,
If anyone would like to say a few words for Tyra, please feel free to. Particularly if you made a long trip here from South Dakota. All right. Well, congratulations, Tyra and Kayla. Our next student is Heather Poland.
Met you in the elevator.
You did.
So Heather earned a major, a bachelor's of science in psychology with an emphasis on mental health. She's also a citizen of the Comanche Nation out of Oklahoma and possesses Cherokee and Blackfeet ancestry. So I have played email tag with Heather since I think late August or so. And in terms of recognizing our Native students and so forth, we are all too happy to do that. And so I'm really happy that Heather could join us, and you brought your mother, I believe. I think too, don't feel bad because I'm terrible at directions, so you ending up at Strauss Music Hall is not bad at all, because I would have ended up on the Exarban side of campus or something. So, but yeah, Heather, from what I've gotten to know of you, like just through email and so forth, your kindness and so forth. So if you are going to pursue, a career in mental health, I think that you seem very well suited to help people. I just get that impression from you. So congratulations on your accomplishment, and feel free to say a few words, and for your mom to also say a few words if she'd like to.
I'm incredibly nervous right now, and you said all the things I was planning on saying.
Say them again, those sound better coming from you than me.
I'm originally from Oklahoma. I came up here. My oldest is actually going to UNL right now. And so I came up here and I ended up going to school and finishing out this degree here, and it's been really fun. I wish I would have known more about the Native American studies. I would have absolutely did that as well. And thank you for including me in this. Very, very good.
So for our students who couldn't be here, we will also take care of them. We were going to recognize Carol McBride, and I said earlier that she is recovering from an unfortunate accident. And we'll also take care of Big Mama for overcoming what has been some real difficult challenges, and together they're quite a team. And so, I won't say everything I was going to say about Carol, but she deserves your well wishes tonight and so forth as they recover. We do have two community honorees here. And our first one is someone that you've already seen a few times up here, is Larry Mason. And I've known Larry, I don't know if I knew you as an undergrad, but I've known you for at least 15 years or so. And he is one of Big Mama's ceremonial kind of partners, Diospe, if you will. And from what I've gotten to know you, you are a person of impeccable integrity and kindness and honor. To sacrifice what you do to get the feathers, to make the necklaces, and to also do that amidst your own health challenges. And I'm sorry to say that, but you deserve a kind of a hero's welcome for what you've endured, and to be here tonight. And really, anytime anybody needs anything, Larry's there for them. And so I miss having you here on campus, you know, and I lock my keys in an office or something. But Larry was always someone, like at night, if you're walking around here around campus, if you have a night class, seeing Larry was always just like, it felt great to run into Larry, you know, and you could just talk and so forth. So, you know, Larry, thank you so much for all that you do and for what you've been to me. Maybe, you know, sometimes I get so busy, maybe I don't say thank you as much as I should, but thank you for today taking Carol where she needed to go. Thank you for being there for Big Mama and for everybody. And so I know that Dr. Lynn Holly was going to say some words here, but I wanted to share my appreciation for you as well. Thank you, Larry. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for presenting. Thank you all for your patience and your attention. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am. That's okay, I'll try. I'll tell you how thrilled I am that we're here, that we're sharing these wonderful moments with each other, that our students are being recognized, that the traditions and ceremonies and prayers are being observed. And this is being safe for us and for the students who are carrying it forward. I would like to say thank you along with Brady and also on my own 2 feet. I'd like to say thank you to my first teacher. Everybody who knows me knows that they're separated from these things because I have seen the creativity and the prayers and the actions that go into having a mentor who knows the ways. And I'm so grateful. It has changed my life. I've had a very long life, and who knows why, but a very good one. But it was the missing piece. And I would encourage anyone who hasn't already found the ways to explore them. It won't fit everyone, but it may fit you or your children or your grandchildren. These are good ways, and they're not that different from the ways of the really great religions that all have, you know, a recipe for happiness and for living. So anyway, so that's about the ways. Every good word that was said about Larry Mason is true, and I'm here to back that up. Yeah, just because I'm short. Anyway, I'm a veteran too, but I didn't go to Vietnam, and Larry did for all of us as a Marine. So anyhow, hats off to my first teacher. I'm grateful every day. I benefit from the opportunity that I've had to learn from Larry and from the people in my adopted family, my adopted Native American family. Thank you very much for sharing this little bit with me. Thank you for staying. His wife, Rose. I just have to, Rose, I've admired you so much. You know this. From the very first day we met, Rose has been so tolerant and so supportive of my entire Native family that we're just all very, I certainly am very grateful to you, Rose, and I thank you for that. So anyway, glad to be able to do that in front of so many good people. Never mind. So anyhow, I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful season and be good to each other, good to each other. And yeah, thanks. Thank you for a chance to do it, Brady. Thank you.
As a former director of this program, And as a former director for 10 years at Memorial State College in Sioux City, when I was a young director, I didn't know anything. And my students said, I wanted to change their student club name. And I said, well, fine, I'll go ask one of my mentors up at University of South Dakota, Dr. Evans, the late Dr. Evans. Hey, my students want to change their name. Hey, could you help us out? Sure. And he came down and met with us. And he brought a ceremony. I was so stupid. I was so ignorant. I didn't know you were supposed to have ceremony, blessings. He brought me the forebearer of this staff, brought it to us. I didn't even know you're supposed to do that as an Indian Studies program. It's just a culture as part of the program. So from that perspective, when I came here in 2002, and we have Big Mama in charge culturally, just like crazy. It's just like you breathe culture, you breathe beauty, you breathe wisdom, you breathe the traditions. And then we have people like Larry, who just bring that with us and make these beautiful necklaces. What happens to be in my pocket because it clanged with the other gifts he's made for me that I can't wear. It makes too much noise. It's embarrassing in my pocket. That's what we have here at UNO. And those of us who teach, hopefully we have things to offer in the classroom. The program offers is much more than that. And so we couldn't do this properly without people like Larry Mason. He doesn't pay for that. He does that out of the goodness of his heart and in his Cheyenne ways and talk about the ways that he brings to us. He brought that beauty, as Lynn mentioned, in his pickup, his security pickup. I've seen him in the parking lot going home late at night in the parking lot, and there's Larry and security, and they're all smudging in the pickup. This is the way it's supposed to be. That's how you should run a security program. You should be holy and blessed, it seems to me. So we take command of such goodness. This is what we see in the cultural world. We see people with good hearts. We see people who do things that they don't have to do when they do it. And we're all better for it. You know that.
Takiapi. Chante Washtenape, Chuspokolo. I greet each of you with a good heart. I apologize for speaking before my elders in such a way. I know about that much, but everything that I've learned here, largely with these people. I present myself to you in that way so you know who I am, and that presenting myself to you in that way reminds me that there's always someone watching when I speak that keeps me speaking in a good way. In preparing for today, I took time to reflect on the 20 plus years I've known Larry Mason. I recall the first time I met him, he'd taken the time away from his normal workday as security guard to come speak to a circle of students in Native American religions. The timing of his visit wasn't coincidence, as it came shortly after my walk began with true sobriety. At the end of his presentation, he gifted each of us with feathers, much like the ones that he gives tonight. And he had them painted in different ways. The markings that were on my feather looked different to me, and I had questions for him. So I went up afterwards and I asked him the questions that were in my heart, and he answered them truthfully. And the markings on the quill of the feather looked like a moth. And he said, maybe that means that you're going to go through a change. And me thinking, rather stupidly, that I knew everything, with the walk with my sobriety starting, I thought maybe I already had gone through a change. little did I know that the next 20 plus years not only would change my life, but would become my life. In that time frame, since that day, in Larry, I found a mentor. I found a teacher. I found a brother. At times, a father. I've always found a cola. Larry is someone that gives genuinely of himself to those in need, whether it's helping unlock somebody's car in the parking lot or their office, to slipping them a few bucks when he sees that they're in need, to making the gifts. I remember back in 2006 being right where our students are tonight, in that same spot. He's helped guide countless nephews and nieces, helped make instruments and items for ceremonies for sun dancers, Chinooka carriers, those going on Humblecha, and those in need of whatever ceremonies their lives guided them to. Larry honors his commitment to those around him and along the Red Road with humbleness and unyielding perseverance. Larry is a humble living embodiment of our concept of Ikche Wichash, common human being. And it's a reminder that in those words of being common, that's where the power comes from. I have many stories from the last 20 years, and for me to tell you all of them that hold meaning would take about that long. And all of that is because of Larry Mason. You've touched many, many lives, Chia. I'm grateful to have been one of them, and I love you. Wopila Chicha Matapas.
Larry, you're so kind.
Those of you who don't know me, my name is Larry Mason. What I'd like to talk about is the feather. It's been a 500-year project that every warrior needs a feather put in their hat, but they have to have an accomplishment in their life. Every woman needs a feather because of her accomplishments in her life. The elk, I make these out of elk bone to represent the horse because the woman needs a horse to carry her stuff. So she has a sort of travois, and she always carries her teepee and all her goods she needs for the day, for the evening or the year. Because I found out that they have to have 10 buffalo hides just to replace the parts of their teepee each year. So that's what grandmothers and mothers and their children would have to do, is scrape them hides just to replace what was damaged during the year through storms and animals and just basic rot. So the elk bone came to me in a vision when I was sundancing up in the Pine Ridge Reservation. And the elk come and spoke to me as a person and told me several things that I needed to know. I don't need to tell you what they told me, but to honor the elk, I make these elk bones as a horse because everybody needs a horse in their life. The warrior needs a horse and the woman needs a horse to carry her things. that's why I make those. As I sundanced for 4 years up at Persevered Reservation, I learned many things from a lot of elders that were there. Just sit, be quiet, and listen. You learn a lot. And then we go into the suffering part of it. And then you get told, listen, shut up, and endure. So I endured it, and I found out why I had to. Because people needed my help. And they teach that helping people is not a wrong thing to do, it's the right thing to do. So as my job here at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, was a security officer for 32 years. So that's what I do, is help people every day. Sometimes I change their tires, sometimes at 65 years old, I unlocked their cars and doors, and I made sure they were safe at night. It was a total obligation, and then at 11 o'clock, I get to go home and be with my wife. And it's been a hard year. I have stage 4 lung cancer. And last December, I didn't think I was going to live. And then in June, my wife gets lung cancer. And it started breaking down. And I had to remember where I came from. I had to pray. And that praying throughout the land, many sweat lodges were praying for my wife. And that's why I'm standing here today, because they prayed for me. I prayed for her. And right now, she's cancer-free. But unfortunately, I am not. And my treatments have been going good. I got out of that wheelchair in March. I said, I'm not going to turn back until they take me. They told me they're not going to take me until they're ready. I'm not ready, and they're not ready. So we'll feel out to God's love. Thank you very much.
We have another community honoree, and someone I'm very proud to introduce. And I never kind of get over not having him around UNO and so forth, but we're like really good friends and so forth. So our community honoree this year is Quentin Hinman. He's a citizen of the Winnebago tribe in Nebraska. He also has Omaha and Seneca heritage. So I got a lot of things to say about Quentin, and then I think there's some people that hopefully would like to say a few things about Quentin as well. But you can stay there until I'm done, and then we'll honor you. So Quentin took a few classes of mine, and I really appreciated having his knowledge and so forth. I learned right away in class that Quentin is someone who helps other people. And I was right about that, just from a classroom perspective, because I've gotten to be very good friends with him and gotten to know his family and so forth. I've seen that you are just the consummate family person. And that extends to your current career and so forth. And so you're like a caregiver, and you always have time for people. That's something I've also noticed, is if I have a question, I think I said this when you graduated in May, that I was your teacher for a few classes, but in many ways you become a teacher of mine too for other things. So if I ever have, things I need to talk about or kind of, ask for advice, you always have time, even with kids screaming in the background. It's, Quentin's going to take Brady's phone call and we're going to talk and so forth. So you have, you mean a lot to a lot of people. And so I know that with your family, I think everybody in here who has a family, you love your family and so forth. But for Quentin, I really haven't seen someone who's so devoted to his children, his wife, and so forth. Like, your kids are always playing, I don't know how many sports they play, but I can't keep track of it. And then you got time to play Frisbee golf, and it's 6 in the morning and so forth. So it's an honor to have you here with us. Your current title, Quentin works as a youth faith manager at Boys Town. He's part of the pastoral team and works predominantly with youth from non-Christian backgrounds. And so I think Quentin is going to be, is going to be taking a world religions class and so forth, because you kind of have to become a jack of all trades. It's just like, here, Quentin, here's all of the non-Christian students. But you're doing an excellent job about that. And that's been echoed by multiple people, besides just me. People in Boys Town that work closely with you. And you help establish connections to culture and spiritual programming for the Native American students at Boys Town. And that's why I see you serve as a role model. And, I have a special place in my own heart for Boys Town. My father's father, my grandpa, DeSanti, was raised at Boys Town. And so it's always good to go, and Quentin always invites, me and Susanna and others to go and work with the students there, talk to the students. And that's something that's a great honor to do, because you're making a difference for students who, in many ways, are looking for their own base, their own frame of reference. And I think if you've ever felt estranged from yourself, your family, friends, you multiply that several times when you're a kid sometimes who feels alone. And with people like Quentin, Native students in Boys Town do not feel alone. I've been to events where Quentin brings these youth there, and you can just see them shine. And you can just see basically how Quentin is with them. Like I said, he serves as a role model for them. And he gives them, I think, a roadmap on how to follow, how to be a human being. And, a lot of us don't really see that we are influencing people around us, good or bad. And so you want to be mindful of your intentions and how you treat others. And I've never seen Quentin say a cross word about anybody. In the work that you do at Boys Town, one of the first things he always does is he'll contact me and say, I've got some students that are looking to maybe go to UNO, and if you guys keep building up your support and so forth in Native studies, we're all too happy to basically try and best as possible to continue that bridge of support that Quentin and your partners at Boys Town do for our Native youth. And I think, I know it's hard work. You work incredibly long hours. You have a lot on your plate. And somehow, amidst caring for that, I think you've kind of taken the world in, at least as far as I see it, as kind of like as a relative. And so you always have time to invite people into your home. I'm one of them. I've eaten I don't know how many meals at your house. So, but I can't, for me, when I thought about community honoree right now, Quentin is someone who just graduated. You did that basically with, family and kids, and then all of the responsibilities you have at Boys Town. And I just thought that it was important to recognize one of our Native young people. I mean, I'm not terribly older than you, but for what they're doing, I think it's important to recognize what our Native friends and relatives are doing out in the community, and to honor them for those accomplishments. Because a lot of times, Quentin never asks to be praised or anything like that. He just does the right thing. And so I think us as Native American Studies, with him being an alumnus, the right thing to do is to honor him in front of his family and in front of the community here. And so Quentin, without further ado, if you come up and would like to give you a blanket here and have you say a few words, and maybe Cassie can say a few words.
Okay. I think Brady did again. He took everything that I could have said and then some. So I don't know what I did to deserve some of this praise, but I'm very grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be a part of this community. My mom was talking a little bit earlier, and we were a little bit upset, or she was a little upset, because I almost didn't come to UNO. In 2006 is when I graduated high school, so it seems like that was yesterday, but it wasn't. And I had an opportunity to get a scholarship at UNL, and it just didn't work out due to family circumstances. And my mom felt really bad about it. And you just kind of think that, our plans and what we want for ourselves, it doesn't always work out the way we think it will. But it works out the way it's supposed to. And so we're supposed to be at when we're supposed to be there. And I found a great community at UNO. I found connection to who I was. I thought that I had it all figured out. Clearly I didn't, and I'm still learning each day, and I keep getting humbled on my path. But I think I was where I was at when I needed to be there. Because when working at Boys Town, as a 30-year-old that was well adjusted, I had a good family, I had a lot of supports in place, but I didn't realize that there was a piece that I was missing. And as I went to school, and as I made connections, and as I made connections to that community, I realized that there was a part of me that I needed filled, and that was missing. And working with at-risk youth, and especially some of those kids that were from the indigenous community, I realized that that was kind of where my purpose was at, or I was kind of guided there. I don't think I would have been in a position to really take in the lessons that I needed to had I not been placed here. And so I'm thankful for Big Mama, Dr. Liga, Dr. Tom, and Brady for helping me on my way. So thank you.
That's really hard for Quentin. He doesn't like public speaking, so that was a sacrifice for himself to come up here like that, so that's pretty heroic. Actually, do you want to invite anybody else who would like to say something? Yes, please.
I have new glasses, so like the
No, I know the
My name is Susanna Heliga. I'm an assistant professor for the Department of History and the Native Studies program. I've been a part of this program, this lovely, wonderful program since 2001 under the excellent leadership of Dr. DeSantis. And so I wanted to say that, I have been teaching since 2001, whether it's, at Oglala College or in a K-12 classroom or here or at UNL. And I've predominantly worked with Native American students, and I've never come across a Native American student who didn't have the aim of using their degree to help their people. I've always thought that's such a really beautiful thing about, the Native students that I've worked with. And so I had Quentin as a student, and I'm sure being a teacher, you probably can relate when you say we get protective of our students, right? And I was always really impressed with Quentin because, I watched him. I wasn't ever a traditional student either. I mean, I, like him, was in school and single parent and had a family and so on and so forth. And I was really impressed by Quentin because I watched him and I saw that he was giving 100% of himself to his studies, and then I saw he was giving 100% to his family and 100% to his work. And so here, I'm watching the student, and he's got 300% of himself somewhere, giving it to everybody around him that he could give it to, So I thought, wow, I'm just really impressed, and you know what? I'm going to help him however I need to help him get through it. But he didn't really ever ask for help. He just managed to do it. He was doing it all the time, and I was just so impressed with that. And I remember one particular time I had to run out to my car or whatever right before class, and I walked in, and my other classes were all fogged up. People look like when they walk into a classroom, and I was like trying to get through, but the next class we had, he was so adorable because he he walked up to me as he was walking in the door, and he put like several packages of these defogger wipes for glasses, and I didn't even know that they made things like that, right? And we had a lot of stuff happening in South Dakota that semester in terms of like race and the Native community and whatever, and I'm not a media person, you know? So Quentin, you know, quickly became my media person, and he was always helpful, and I noticed, you know what? I think he's looking out for me too, between the fogging of my glasses and doing the internet stuff for me and whatever. And I just really think he's a stand-up person, and I hear all of the great things that he's doing, and I think that his recognition is much deserved, and I'm really super proud of him. He's always helpful, always friendly, you know, always has a good story to share with people, and I think that's really beautiful, and I know that he's going to do a lot of great things, and I'm just so proud of you, Quentin. I had to share that.
Could go on for 30 minutes. But it won't. Hi, thank you again. There's so many people to thank. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. Special thanks to the families. And then to the extra family that we seem to attract, who take care of people as though it were their own family and make it possible for a lot of progress. Donna Polk, who is the CEO of the Nebraska Urban Indian Health Coalition, is with us tonight, and she has worked so hard to encourage her employees to have terrific careers, work up to their potential, to come to UNO. Yes, and I just wanted to, and she also, I've learned a lot from her. We all can. We give you so much. Don, would you please stand up so we know who you are? Thank you so much. I know I'm wearing rubber shoes and I was going to wear moccasins, but these are kind of like urban moccasins, don't you think? Urban Indian. Urban Indian. Okay, thanks again, Brady. Dear Brady, thank you. Somebody should say thank you to you.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes, that's all right.
All right.
Listen, there are a group of us, and Brady has definitely made so many, I would say sacrifices, but you know, like, what do you call it?
Beat downs, maybe.
But you know, working until you just can't lift your head. And he's done that. He's put the program first. I am a faculty member here at UNO in a different department. I can tell you a lot of budget issues are going on and so on and so on. And our program is still here in no small part, thanks to Brady and his continuous thinking, strategic thinking about what needs to be done to allow this program to stay here and help people. So, Brady, nobody else was saying thank you. It wasn't even on the program. So
No, thank you.
Thank you.
And so I would like to also say, Donna, thank you for hiring some of our graduates and so forth. So we really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. So what we would like to do now is have all of our honorees, student and otherwise, be up here at the front, and then we invite basically everyone to come and shake their hand and congratulations. And then Douglas, if you'd sing an honoring song for us. After that, you're free to go. Douglas will sing a traveling song to send you home in a good way. And I also invite you to take some food with you too. This is the Community Engagement Center where we do have to take our own stuff out, and I don't feel like making 20 trips back to my car. I did bring some plastic bags though this time. So if you'd all basically put your...
I wanted to say one more thing.
Please, yeah, absolutely.
I forgot to say it while I was up here, but she's not here, so maybe she's watching. I really hope you're watching, but Gretchen, I thank you for everything that you have done. I would rant and rant on for days, and you'd be like, so thank you for listening and believing in me. And I wish she was here to meet my family because she helped me through like everything. So, just thank you, Gretchen.
We definitely miss Gretchen. We know that she's doing well in Arizona, but just not the same without her. All right. Well, if everybody would put that was honored, put your blanket and certificate and everything, come up here in front of the table, and then the audience basically, during the honoring song, please shake their hands in congratulations, and then we'll have a traveling song, and that'll be it. So thank you.
This is hand sanitizer.
Hi, everybody. I'm here. Larry. I'm here. Oh, sorry.
That was it.
So, before we leave, again, I do want to invite you to take as much food as you can. And I want to thank everybody for taking the time to come out tonight and celebrating our students and community honorees. I know this is a really hectic time of year. It always feels different than spring honoring does, because I think there's, I don't know about you, I'm pretty stressed. I've got still grade finals and so forth. So thank you all so much. And we're going to have a traveling song here and send everybody on home. And I wish you nothing but the best. And for those that are coming back to UNO, a really good winter break. So thank you. Yeah, I've got some plastic bags I'll put out to help you take food home. And without further ado, Douglas, the traveling song. Thank you.
Seven one two 355 3663.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thanks so much.
Hey man.
Thanks so much.
Oh, there you go. If you shoot me an email, whatever,
Thank you.
yeah, nice to meet you. And I'll see you soon.